Hi, this is Hobie Swan for CS Odessa. Today I'd like to talk to you about using ConceptDraw MINDMAP to gather requirements. I'm going to use a software development project today as an example. But you can use the same process to do everything from figuring out how to name a new product to planning a report you need to do, even for personal things like maybe planning a remodel or planning a trip, planning a vacation. The process is the same, whatever your objective is. It's just a matter of gathering the requirements in a really effective way. If you're going to be gathering requirements with a team, I'd really suggest that you project the map up on the wall. And as people come up with brainstorm ideas, you capture them in the way I'll show you in a second. And that way, everybody will be able to see all the ideas as they're offered, and one idea will spark another one. So you'll end up with some good ideas. So ConceptDraw MINDMAP has a really good tool to do that. It's called, look under Tools, it's called Brainstorming. And you can either use the menu or you can use Control-Alt-B. And when I click this, you're going to see we're going to leave this mapping environment we have here, and we're going to go into the brainstorming environment. Okay, so we'll go into brainstorming. And you can see now we have a 4-step process. The first step is to enter the theme of the brainstorm. So we type that in right here. The second is to set the time and start the timer for brainstorming. Right now it's set at 10 minutes. The third is to enter all your ideas. So you'll be typing in your ideas, your brainstorming ideas, one at a time in here. And as you type them, you can either use add or just use the enter key. And then finally, you'll go back into the map mode to finish your brainstorming, to organize all your ideas. So let's get started. I'm going to call this movie making software. Software. And this says 10 minutes, so I think I'm going to leave it right there. We're not going to use up all that time, but I'll click that, and you can see that it's starting to count down. Okay, so now we're going to start entering ideas. So what do I want in movie making software? Well, I want the ability to zoom in. I can hit enter. I want the ability to zoom out. I want the ability to pan. I'll just say pan right and pan left. Let's see. I want to have GPS functionality. And that's so I can keep track of my locations and keep track of the sunlight, because it'll change for the angle of the days change. Let's see, what else can we do? I want to interact. With Twitter. And I'll just add a few more things here that I might come up with in the course of brainstorming. We'll have a new piece of movie making software. Hold on. Okay, I think that's enough stuff. It just gives you an idea of how you would, as you brainstorm, it just starts to stack up all your ideas in columns like this. And as I said, people are seeing all this on the wall, and they start to get ideas about, well, if it can interact with Twitter, that means that we can contact crew, contact the cast just by sending them a tweet. So, just sort of build on your own ideas. Okay, so we've finished step 3. We've entered all our ideas. And now we're going to go to step 4, finish the brainstorming and organize our ideas. And that will put us back into the map environment. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I start organizing these things in like groups. So for GPS functionality, you just drag it up until it highlights that main area. That helps me keep track of my locations and keep track of the sunlight. I want to interact with Twitter. That'll help me contact my crews if I need to, contact the cast, contact the prop people, get these out of the way, and contact the costume people. Now I have the zoom in and zoom out stuff. I don't have a real name for that, so I'll just call that camera function. And now I've got the map going in 2 directions. What I like to do is I like to highlight the map and go up to the Arrange Map icon. And I'm just going to pick Arrange Right. And that puts all the things on one side. I find that it's a little easier to look at it that way. So then I'll just drag these camera functions over and see how we're starting to group all the ideas ideas that were given randomly in the brainstorming section, and we can start to put them into like groups. So I'll just continue doing that here. Okay, so here you can see that I've arranged all the things we mentioned in brainstorming. I've put them onto one map, and so we've gone from this sort of, the divergent thinking of brainstorming, where you're just tossing out ideas, to the convergent step of grouping them. So now you have a way to look at this in a more organized fashion. Now you can do other stuff, like start to add other visual information. Like, let's say the interaction with Twitter is really important. You can go over here and use these numeral icons and put a number 1 next to Twitter to show how important it is. Maybe the GPS functionality that's second in priority, so you put a 2 in there. And then you can start to do stuff like add resources. Like, let's say I'm going to add some task info. I want to have a start date. I'm just going to pick an arbitrary date here. And I'm not going to worry about due date or duration, but I want to make clear that Perry is going to be in charge of GPS functionality. So I put that in there, and when I mouse over it, you can see the start date and the resource for this particular one. Of course, I can do that with every single one. So if I go to Twitter and I say add task info, I can just go over here, do the same start date, ignore these two, and put in Martha. Martha's going to be in charge of that. And then you can start to add stuff, like, let's say you want to use this map going forward. You can, Martha might want to have a branch, a topic here, and she can start to put in stuff like, she needs to contact the Twitter programmers. And then on that one, we can say, put this icon in here showing she hasn't done it. And then as she gets through this, she can click on it. So now it's 10% finished. That's 25% finished. 35%. And so on. And so when she actually finishes it, it'll give a check mark to show she's completed it. Anyway, this is just a quick overview to show you how you go from use the brainstorming mode to do the divergent thinking and just get a bunch of ideas up there. And then you go back into the organizing mode and you start to take all your ideas and you dump them into buckets, and then start adding some task info. Maybe some people are starting to add their tasks into the map itself. And you can use this map as you go forward to keep track of all these things that you want to do in your new software application. This is a very quick overview, but I hope you get the general idea. Okay, thanks very much.